Okay. Good morning. Well, it's morning where I am. I'm not sure where you are. I hope you're having a good weekend. Today, I'm trying something new. I haven't done a live lesson like this since during the pandemic. So this is a new experience. We're going to try this, see how it goes. Um, Not sure how many people to expect to join today. This is the first time I've tried one of these live sessions, but let's see how we get on. So, what are we doing today? I'm going to pick out a text from the news and I'm going to read through it slowly. Um, Hopefully, that will help us understand what the text is about. Then, we're going to look at some vocabulary, we're going to look at some grammar, and some phrases as well, some interesting phrases in the text. After that, there will be another reading. I'll read through a bit more quickly, and I can focus on some fluency, pronunciation type stuff. Then we'll have some comprehension questions, and then there'll be a chance for a bit of discussion on this topic. So these are going to be news articles. Um, Nothing too heavy. I'll try to pick some light topics. Today's topic is quite a light topic. And yeah, so I think let's just get into it. Let's see what we've got. Okay. So here's the topic for today. The title of today's article: Does chocolate cause acne? Chocolate, hopefully everyone is familiar with the word chocolate, but we have this word acne. I wonder if you can guess what acne means. Does chocolate cause acne? Well, acne is kind of a medical term, and it is the little kind of spots, maybe around your nose, on your forehead. Some people get acne on their chest or on their back, and it's these little kind of red spots that you get, usually when you're a teenager. Okay. Most people grow out of this as they get older, but when you're a teenager, you have a lot of oil on your skin, and that kind of blocks the pores. So your skin can't breathe so well, and it creates these spots. So the suggestion here is that chocolate causes acne. What is your experience of this? Do you think there's a connection between eating a lot of chocolate and then maybe a day or two later getting acne, maybe on your face? It's interesting. But the question here is, does chocolate cause acne? Well, let's see what the text looks like. Today's text, I would say, is an intermediate level. It's a good intermediate level. We've got some nice sentences, some technical vocabulary, which I will explain as we go through. But I think it's a nice level to develop if you're a kind of intermediate level student. So first of all, I'm going to read through this slowly, and then we'll look at some vocabulary. So let's have a look at this. Does chocolate cause acne? For many years, chocolate has been blamed for causing acne. However, research shows this link may not be as strong as once thought. While a large study in the 1960s found no connection between chocolate and acne, newer studies suggest that diet, especially a Western one high in sugar and fat, could play a role in skin issues like acne. Acne is mainly caused by genetics, but diet can sometimes trigger inflammation, making the condition worse for certain people. Foods with a high glycemic index, which which raise blood sugar quickly, may contribute to acne by increasing oil production in the skin. However, dark chocolate may offer benefits due to its antioxidants, which can reduce inflammation. So, like I said, this is a good intermediate level. The sentences are not just simple sentences. We've got some complex sentences here. We have good links between ideas. So we're going to start by looking at some of the more difficult vocabulary in here. And the first word we have is blamed, or blame in its plain form. To blame someone for something is to say that they are responsible for something bad or negative. Okay, so blame is always suggesting something negative. She blamed me for the mistake. Okay, or many people blame the government for the poor economy. Okay, so blame for something. So here we have chocolate has been blamed for causing acne. So blame and for always go together. Next word we have here is diet. Now here we've got diet used as a noun. And in this case, diet is the food or drink that we normally consume. Okay, so you might have a healthy diet, you might have an unhealthy diet, you might follow a vegetarian diet. Okay, here we have a Western diet is suggested. Okay, so diet is the food that you normally eat. So maybe you've got a balanced diet. Okay, there is diet as a verb, and diet as a verb means that you're trying to lose weight. You change the way that you're eating or the foods that you're eating because you want to try to reduce your weight. But here we have diet used as a noun. Next, we have genetics. Genetics. Genetics is a study of the characteristics that are passed from one generation to the next. For example, from your parents to you. So, for example, I have blue eyes. That is a result of my genetics. My parents had blue eyes. I have blue eyes. How tall you are is usually decided by your genetics. So genetics is these characteristics that are passed down from one generation to the next. Next, we have trigger. So trigger is to cause something to start or to begin. Okay. So, for example, stress. Stress might trigger a headache. Okay. If you get very stressed, you might develop a headache. So, stress can trigger a headache. A loud noise could trigger a car alarm. Okay, I'm sure you've seen that before. There's been a loud noise and suddenly many car alarms start to go off at the same time. So trigger means to start. Next highlighted word here is inflammation. This is a very medical term, but it's very useful if you have to go to the doctor. Okay, so what is an inflammation? Inflammation is when part of your body maybe becomes red or swollen, maybe starts to get bigger. If you hit your head and maybe you get a bump on your head, this would be an inflammation. Okay, so it's red, swollen, sometimes painful to touch. And you might use some ice to reduce an inflammation. Okay, you might hurt your knee and you have an inflammation on your knee. So inflammation is what we're talking about there. Another very technical word is glycemic index. Glycemic index. To be honest, a lot of native speakers do not know what glycemic index means. So if this is a new word to you, don't worry about it. But glycemic index, it says here, is a measure of how much a food raises your blood sugar level, okay, after you eat it. So, for example, candy or soft drinks have a high glycemic index. So, if you consume candy, soft drinks, your blood sugar level, the amount of sugar in your blood, will go up quite quickly, and by quite a lot. But foods like apples, for example, have a low glycemic index. They will not raise your blood sugar that way. Okay. Carrots have a low glycemic index, so they're quite a good snack, for example. And the last word we have here is antioxidant. Again, quite a technical word, but quite a useful one to know. This is something that helps protect your body's cells from damage. Okay, antioxidants. So, for example, some foods have a lot of antioxidants in them. Spinach, for example, has antioxidants. Green tea has antioxidants, and consuming those can help protect the cells in your body. Blueberries have a lot of, maybe the most antioxidants in of any food, and those are kind of the technical words. As I said, there's some very technical vocabulary here, but nothing too crazy. Let's have a look now at some grammar. Let me just give it a little drink. So, the first bit we have here is chocolate has been blamed for. Has been blamed for. Okay, so this is basically saying that chocolate has been blamed for this negative consequence. So acne is a negative thing. No one wants to get acne. But chocolate has been blamed for. So in the past and up to today as well. So has been blamed for causing acne. So this is what we would call the present perfect passive. Okay, has been blamed for. So this is focusing on chocolate. So we've moved chocolate to the front to highlight that chocolate is the cause of this. Next, we have a modal verb in here, may not be. So here we're talking about uncertainty. Research shows this link may not be as strong as once thought. Okay, so there is uncertainty. We're not sure, may not be, but this is an example of a modal verb. Useful in academic writing, and if you're doing academic reading, you'll see this kind of language used a lot. Next, we have play a role. Okay. If we look at the sentence a bit further back, a Western diet high in sugar and fat could play a role in skin issues like acne. Okay, play a role. And so what does that mean? To play a role is that there are possibly many things causing acne, many things, okay? But the suggestion here is that diet, and maybe a bad diet that has a lot of sugar and fat in it, might be one thing that causes skin issues. So play a role means there are possibly other things that are causing acne, not just your diet. Okay. Then we have a couple of words. You should always try and pick out these words and pay attention to these words. However, very simple word, but it's a very powerful word. It's suggesting a contrast, a change, or a comparison between ideas. Okay. So, however, research shows that this link may not be as strong as once thought. So the first sentence, for many years, chocolate has been blamed for causing acne. However, research shows that this may not be as strong as once thought. Okay, so this is a contrast between ideas. Okay. So what are your first thoughts? It'd be good to know your thoughts in the chat. Um, do you believe this? Do you believe that um, chocolate causes diet, or is chocolate causes diet? Do you believe that chocolate causes acne, or is it more of a genetic thing? Um, this is the suggestion in this article. Let me know what you think in the text in the chat. So let's have a look at this in more natural speed. I'll try to read this at a more natural pace. So, does chocolate cause acne? For many years, chocolate has been blamed for causing acne. However, research shows this link may not be as strong as once thought. While a large study in the 1960s found no connection between chocolate and acne, newer studies suggest that diet, especially a Western one high in sugar and fat, could play a role in skin issues like acne. Acne is mainly caused by genetics, but diet can sometimes trigger inflammation, making the condition worse for certain people. Foods with a high glycemic index, which raise blood sugar quickly, may contribute to acne by increasing oil production in the skin. However, dark chocolate may offer benefits due to its antioxidants, which can reduce inflammation. Okay. So, reading in a bit more of a natural pace here to give you a sense of what it might sound like. Has been blamed for causing acne. Okay. Um, so let's have a look at some comprehension questions just to kind of get a sense of your understanding here. So the first comprehension question we have is, why did the large study in the 1960s, sorry, what did the large study in the 1960s find about chocolate and acne? Okay, this is our first question. What did the large study in the 1960s find about chocolate and acne? Chocolate causes acne. Chocolate has antioxidants. Chocolate and acne have no connection. Chocolate raises blood sugar levels quickly. Okay, flip back to the text so you can have a little look at this. Okay. So the correct answer is chocolate and acne have no connection. That was the result of the research in the 1960s. There's no connection. Question 2. What is the main cause of acne according to the text? What is the main cause of acne? Is it diet? Okay. Is it genetics? Is it dark chocolate? Or is it sugar? I'll give you a second to think about that. The main cause of acne, according to the text, is it diet, genetics, dark chocolate, or sugar? The answer is genetics. According to the new research, genetics is the main cause. Main cause. Okay, next. What type of diet sometimes triggers inflammation in the skin? Okay, what type of diet sometimes triggers inflammation in the skin? A diet high in antioxidants, a diet high in sugar and fat, a diet with a lot of dark chocolate, a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. Okay. Which type of diet sometimes triggers inflammation? What do you think the answer is here? Okay. The correct answer, according to the text, is a Western diet, high in sugar and fat. So this kind of unhealthy diet sometimes triggers this inflammation in the skin. Okay. Moving on, our last question here. What is one benefit of dark chocolate mentioned in the text? Okay, the benefit of dark chocolate. Okay, it lowers blood sugar, increases oil production, so the amount of oil produced in the skin. It may reduce inflammation due to its antioxidants, or it causes acne in some people. Okay, so the benefit, what is one benefit of dark chocolate mentioned in the text? Okay. The correct answer is C. Well done. It's that dark chocolate may reduce inflammation due to these antioxidants. So you might have heard people say that a little bit of dark chocolate can actually be healthy for you, whereas the more sweet milk chocolate probably not so healthy for you. Okay, good. Right. So that was a nice little experiment trying these little questions. Now, what I'd like to do is ask your thoughts on this text. Okay, so a couple of questions that we can think about here. What are some other foods or habits that are important for healthy skin? Okay, foods. So we've got the suggestion that what you eat has an impact on your skin. So, what foods or habits that are important for healthy skin? I'm getting a little bit older, so I'm starting to notice little lines in my skin. So, if you have any suggestions for how to keep your skin nice and healthy, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, let me know in the comment section, what are some foods or habits that are important for healthy skin. Okay. So wash your face at night. Yeah, wash your face at night. I think that is a good suggestion. Very easy to forget when you're quite tired, but washing your face at night. Avoid junk food. Junk food, it's very difficult, isn't it? It's very, very difficult to avoid junk food. But this suggestion that unhealthy foods, high in sugar, high in fat, are going to cause this acne. Definitely, these junk foods are going to cause some problems. So, yeah, if we can try to avoid those, that's probably going to be good for us. And eat fruit and vegetables a lot. So, control your diet. Really think about the foods that you're eating. Is going to be an important factor. Fruit and vegetables, we were talking about this glycemic index. Vegetables generally would have a low glycemic index. Some fruits, we talked about blueberries having a lot of antioxidants in them. So again, thinking about your diet, trying to control your diet, it's probably a good way to keep your skin nice and healthy. And yes, I was just going to say, drink water. Keeping your body hydrated, making sure you've got a lot of water in your system, and you can feed your skin cells that good, healthy moisture is probably a good idea. So yeah, a lot of diet-based recommendations there, and also hygiene. Washing your face at night, maybe even putting some moisturizing cream on your face. That could help a little bit to keep your skin nice and healthy. So we've got kind of keeping your skin healthy from the inside by the food and drinks that you're consuming, but also from the outside with maybe some creams and washing your face. So have you ever tried changing have you ever tried changing what you eat to improve your health or skin? Um, did it work? Well, I've been quite lucky. I haven't had, certainly as an adult, I've not had major problems with my health or my skin, but certainly I go through phases where I try to change my diet a little bit to try to be a bit more healthy. Um, but yeah, have you ever tried changing what you eat to improve your health or your skin? I think it's always good to kind of hear recommendations from people, what they've tried and what has worked well. Um, yeah, interesting to see what you have to say about that. I have recently moved to a new country. I'm no longer living in Japan. I live in Mexico. So I have a whole new um, range of foods in front of me. Um, so thinking about my diet has become very important. Um, the things that I was used to eating in Japan are mostly no longer available, or they're quite expensive. When you move to another country, the foods from the other country are now very expensive. Um, so yeah, thinking about what I eat has become a big thing. We've got a comment here. Um, right. Okay. So yes, stop eating badly when you start getting acne. So you understood this connection between eating badly and the skin developing this acne. Um, yeah, so that's it, and I think you can feel it. It's the acne in your skin. You probably feel it in other parts of your body. You know that something's not quite right. So acne is a signal to yourself that maybe I've not been eating too well, and I need to try to eat a bit more healthily. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Try to cut sugar from my coffee and tea. Okay, yeah, sugar. Some people add sugar to their coffee and tea, um, and some people really get used to it. Um, I I used to have sugar in my tea, but then one day I just decided to try it without tea, and it was sorry, without tea, without sugar, and it took a little bit of getting used to, but I managed to get away from having sugar in my tea. Coffee, I still have a little bit of sugar in my coffee. I haven't managed to get away from that. But this is definitely a situation where you're clearly adding sugar to something. Clearly, you can see it, a big spoon of sugar going into your coffee or your tea. In other foods, we don't really see the sugar. Okay, so if you have a snack, there's sugar in it, but you can't see it and you can't remove it. But I think coffee and tea are good examples of foods that you can control the amount of sugar that you consume. Um, a lot of the popular coffee chains today, there's a lot of sugar in those drinks. Um, I think I've always used to say to my students, like, you don't like coffee, you like sugar, because they would come to class with a big cup of coffee, but it's clearly just mostly just a sweet drink, coffee flavored drink that they're having. So yeah, reducing that sugar in your tea and coffee, definitely a good tip there. Um, okay, well, I think there's not much there's not much else for me to add here. One thing I would like to say is that I have started making some products, digital products, that I hope to expand. Um, the first one we have here is some conversation cards. Okay, so these are a little deck of cards here. Um, and this deck of cards is conversation cards. So these are used for conversation. So basically what you've got here is a question. Okay, so here's the question here. You can see that the topic is challenges. And the question we have here is, how do you handle jet lag after long haul flights? Okay, so this is in the topic of challenges. So what you would do is you could use that card. In fact, I can make myself a little bit bigger here. There we go. What you can do is use this card to start a conversation if you're with somebody else. And you can ask them this question. They can reply. You can discuss this topic. And on the back of the card, there are a couple of follow-up questions. Okay. So one of the difficult things for people when they're having a conversation is to continue the conversation. So these follow-up questions are designed to help you continue the conversation. Okay. So first question here, how do you handle jet lag after long haul flights? Well, living far away from my home country, so living in Japan and now living in Mexico, I have to take long haul flights to get back to the UK. And my tip for long haul flights is if you arrive early in the morning, try to stay awake. Okay, don't go to sleep when you arrive. You need to kind of stick to the new time zone as best as you can. So last summer, when I flew from Japan back to the UK, we arrived very, very early in the morning, about 7 o'clock in the morning. But we really tried hard to stay awake. We booked lots of activities. I think we went to a museum. We had a nice lunch planned. So we tried to stay active, stay awake as best as we could. So that evening, you can try to sleep at a normal time. So that's my main tip. This next one here, we've got a couple of follow-up questions. What helps you adjust to new time zones? I've just kind of answered that question. The second question, how do you stay productive with jet lag? I don't really. I just try to be realistic with my jet lag. I'm going to have maybe a day, maybe a couple of days where I'm not able to do as much as I normally do. But making sure I'm going to bed at a decent time and waking up at a decent time, usually these are as much as you can do, and understand that after a couple of days, you're going to get into a natural rhythm again. But those first couple of days are usually quite difficult. I would say it's easier when you're on vacation. When you're on vacation, usually you're excited, you're in this new place, there's things to do, and you get a little bit more energy and you can go out and do things. But if you are coming home, maybe you're not so excited to arrive back home and maybe go back to work. So the jet lag coming back home, I think, can be a little bit more difficult. But anyway, so these are these conversation cards. All of the cards in the first set that I've made are based on the topic of travel. Okay, so these are conversation cards based on travel. As you can see, there are a lot in the set. This is the full set of cards. So lots of questions for you to practice with. So have a look at my Etsy store. It's etsy.com/shop/English with Colin. And if you use the discount code LIVE15, you can get 15% off. So check that out. Hopefully I will have more products like this coming in the future. Okay, I think we'll finish there for today. Thank you very much for, hold on, let's try that. Okay. Let's try that one. No. Yes, that one. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, turn on the notifications, and hopefully I will do this again. Hopefully it will be a little bit more smooth, but this has been a good test run. Thank you very much for your patience, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much, and take care.